Okay? Yeah, it will go down in history as one of the worst L's of all time. Hillary Rodham Clinton, more like Hillary L. Clinton, okay? Rodham. Okay. All right. Let's see what Hillary Clinton had to say.
It did.
Yeah. Well, we're very lucky to have you now, following yesterday's results, but also 1 year out from the presidential election.
Yeah.
So last night unequivocally had some major wins for Democrats. Abortion is hands down an incredibly motivating issue, but there are a number of polls out there that spell real trouble for President Biden. I'm curious if there's a disconnect between perhaps the brand of the Democratic Party and President Biden. And I think one thing you and I agree on is Donald Trump is an existential threat to this country. But is Joe Biden, when 4 out of 5 battleground polls have him losing to Trump, the best person to take him on?
Yes, he is. And he's done a really good job as president. And, you know, I like to evaluate people in public life.
Bro, this is crazy. Why are they doing this? Do they want Biden to be even less liked? What is happening? Bro, Brandon ain't doing too hot right now. Why are you putting the Clinton kiss of death on him?
Life on what have they gotten done for us? Yeah. And, you know, you look at his record, despite all of the odds, he's really produced positive results. But more than that, we are a year out. And if you go back and look at comparable presidencies, Barack Obama was behind at this point in his reelection. My husband was behind at this point in his reelection. You know, until the candidates, the nominees are actually chosen, people are always saying, well, maybe there's somebody better out there. Let me look over here. You know, oh, I see somebody I like, or I just saw, you know, him give a speech or her position. That's natural. But what I think is important is that, as you say, Alyssa, that Joe Biden is not only proved that he's done a good job, but look at the alternative and look at what we would face as a country. And I think the election results yesterday should be very good news for President Biden.
Yes.
And
the election results have nothing to do with Brandon. Unless he gets younger somehow. Because the reason why people don't like Brandon has nothing to do with Israel, by the way. Maybe in Michigan, but like, other than that, people are fine with the way he's dealing with Israel. Let's be real. Americans don't give a fuck about dead Palestinians. The reason why people are mad at Brandon is because of the economy and also because he's old as fuck.
Why do you think that's true? Just because he's convicted. They don't believe anything now. Why would they believe that?
There are some that will change their vote.
That is exactly what these polls have shown. You know, I think when you are, look, it's...
Did you see the approval rating among people that voted for the abortion issue in Ohio? Biden is 30 points underwater. Oh, my God.
Any kind of relationship, when you're 100% committed, it's really hard to say you were wrong.
Yeah. Yes,
you know, people go, why are you still with this guy? And you're just like, well, you know,
Bro. Israel has to be a factor for young leftists? No. Young leftists are such a tiny fucking population when you look at it from who's a likely voter. Okay? I'm talking, when I put my electoral hat on, I'm talking about something entirely different. Anything that I say here, anything that I chirp about here, is all fucking gone away, okay? Do not think about that. Think about, no, every single person in here votes. That doesn't mean anything. It's 20,000 people dispersed across the entire fucking planet, not even just America. Every single person in here votes. Almost every single person in here will most likely end up voting for Brandon, whether they feel, embarrassed by it or not. Well, maybe won't even admit it. Like, this is so stupid. Just, it doesn't matter. You're saying, no, I won't. Whatever. Sure. Yeah. My point is, this doesn't move the needle. We are like a very tiny, slim voting block that is not exactly all too significant in the grand scheme of things. If we were, Bernard Sanders would have defeated everyone in both of the primaries. A lot of people forget that the major reason why Bernie Sanders was so successful in 2016 was because he was a protest vote against Hillary Clinton. the reason why he was not capable of reaching the same level of popularity the second time around was, one, obviously because of full-scale attack from the DNC, Barack Obama, solidifying the entirety of the of the playing field against Bernie Sanders and propping up his guy. But the reality is, Bernie Sanders, in spite of his popularity, wasn't as successful, one, because the caucuses were gone, and two, because he wasn't up against someone who was like incredibly unpopular, like Hillary Clinton. So, one, this is the reason why it's fucking hilarious that Hillary Clinton is talking about, like, well, people end up voting for whoever the Democrat is anyway. It's like, yeah, except they didn't. And that's why you lost, dumbass. The idea that, like, Joe Biden should not be thinking about his polls a year out when 75% of his party has consistently said that he should not run again is unimaginably stupid. Especially when looking at the exit polls, you could say they're unreliable, right? Right to abortion exit poll, 60% of females, 53% of males. Legalize marijuana. Where's the rest of it? Where's the, hold on. These are the two ballot measures, but do you have the, where's the Biden, oh, here. 77% of 18 to 29 voted for right to abortion. That's crazy. Black men, black women, 80%, 88%. White men, 50%. White women, 56%. This is huge. They make up 45% of the fucking entire the voting population. And 56% of them fucking voted to protect abortion. This is huge. They're losing the Karen coalitions, right? Anyway, as far as education goes, do you think of yourself as a Democrat? 35% Republican, 33% independent, 64% say they're independent or something else. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this. No matter how you voted today, do you usually think of yourself as a Republican? 82% say, oh, this is yes and no. Okay, never mind. It's 35% of the population is Republican, 32% is Democrat, and 33% is independent or something else. 64% of the independents voted for abortion. Even 18% of reliable Republican voters voting for protecting abortion is crazy. White, born again, or evangelical Christian? No, 71%. 24% of evangelical Christians or white born again Christians voted to protect abortion. Wow. How do you feel about the way Joe Biden's handled his job as president? Strongly approve. 94% voted yes, obviously, but the strong approvers were 15% of the population. Somewhat approvers were 24% of the population. Strongly disapprovers were 46% of the population. And somewhat disapprovers were 13%. So somewhat the strongly disapproval has the majority at 59%. How do you feel about the way Joe Biden is handling his job as president? Strongly or somewhat approved, 39% of the population. And amongst them, who are the nopers on this that approve of Joe Biden? That's so funny. Like 8%. 8% of people who say they strongly or somewhat approve voted to not protect abortion. What the fuck? Who are these people? God, I love American politics. It's so fucking stupid. Abortion should be illegal, 61%. Abortion should be illegal, 5% of those who said abortion should be illegal voted to protect abortion. How do you feel about the Supreme Court decision? Enthusiastic, 7% from the yeppers. Who do you trust more to handle the issue of abortion? The Democratic Party, 94%. Who do you trust more to handle the economy? The yeppers believe overwhelmingly in the Democratic Party. Do you think, oh, here it is. Do you think Joe Biden should be running for president in 2024? 24% said yes. 73% said no. %46 of those who fucking voted to preserve, to protect abortion rights said Joe Brandon should not run for president in 2024. That's almost half of the population. That is almost half the population of no voters. I mean, yes voters. That's crazy. It's not half. You said it in reverse. It's almost half. Not 46% of people who said yes. It's 46% of people said he shouldn't run. Yes. Sorry. I meant 46% of the people who said Joe Biden shouldn't run, almost half of the people that said Joe Biden shouldn't run, voted to save abortion. To save abortion rights. That's fucking insane. Anyway, so shit is really popping, looking real bad. I wish there was a law that people over 65 cannot run for President Lamont. What has more bipartisan support than Joe Biden shouldn't run in 2024? Nothing. Nothing in the country is as unequivocally as popular as protecting abortion, 75% to 24, or usually, and also Joe Biden shouldn't run, 75% to 25% usually. This is like the two things that Americans are united on in overwhelming numbers. Joe Biden should not run again, and we have to protect abortion. But hey, guys, don't look at that. As Hillary Clinton says, it's fine.
I thought he would do this, or I liked what he did there. And it's hard for people to separate. And I did say, and I believe this, and there are a lot of other people, not just me, saying this. Liz Cheney said it recently, that there's a kind of cult-like dimension here.
Yeah.
You know, he's like a walking id. You know, in psychology, you've got the ego and the superego and the id. And so a lot of people go, oh, man, did you hear what he said? It's like watching a constant entertainment show. And so people get hooked into that, and they don't want to give it up because it is, you know, kind of entertaining and interesting.
To watch the chaos. I think that your loss to Trump in 2016 will go down in history as one of the most pivotal times in our country. One of the most pivotal moments.
Fucking smoking on that Hillary Clinton pack. Get wrecked, bozo. Imagine fucking losing to the guy you thought was the easiest to beat. Okay? Yeah, it will go down in history as one of the worst L's of all time. Hillary Rodham Clinton, more like Hillary L. Clinton, okay? Rodham.
In our country. And it's still reeling from, you know, Trump's policies, I think, and the deep divisions that he sowed in this country. Mm-hmm. What, in your view, would happen if he were to be reelected?
Oh, I can't even think that, because I think it would be the end of our country as we know it. And I don't say that lightly. You know, I hated losing. And I especially hated losing to him because I had seen so many warning signals during the campaign. But I immediately said, look, we have to give him a chance. We've got to support, you know, the president we have. And I meant it. And
Bitch, no, you didn't. You did not see the warning signals. Ma'am, what are you doing? Get bored? Somebody got bored. If you saw the warning signals, then, you know, you should have tried harder. If people want to go down the Hillary road again, we might as well do my idea and have Martha Stewart run. She would get more done and world leaders won't pre-hate her. You still get your old white lady libs. Oh, my God, that's actually a fire idea. Martha Stewart for prison reform.
And I tried really hard. And then literally from his inauguration on, it was nothing but, you know, accusing people of things, making up facts, denying the size of the crowd at his own inauguration. And everything that I worried about, I saw unfolding. And so I think that
she's such a piece of shit that, like, she can't even fucking be like the Muslim ban. You know what I mean? Like, the first thing that she talks about is the crowd size. God, I fucking despise liberals, dude. Like, there are objectively awful fascist policies that Trump immediately chose to implement. Like, you could just do that, but he's like, he lied about the crowd sizes.
He'd be even worse now because he was somewhat restrained, believe it or not, in the first term by people who he hired because he thought they would go along with him, and they stood up to him.
What do you think?
Oh, yeah, and those brave boys that were also, like, the architects of the family separation policy, for example, now write books about how fucking sad they are. So, you know. God, I hate her. I hate her. I hate our corporate elite. She is such a... She's such an obvious piece of shit. She's such an obvious, like, aberration. Not even aberration, actually. She's a manifestation, like, out of touch corporate elite.
Now he is going to, if he were ever near the Oval Office again, find people who have no principles, no conscience, who are totally tied, you know, to his fortunes, literally, and therefore would do whatever he said. And so the wreckage is almost unimaginable. You know, when I was Secretary of State, I used to talk about one and done. And what I meant by that is that people would get legitimately elected, and then they would try to do away with elections and do away with opposition and do away with a free press. And you could see it in countries where, well, Hitler was duly elected.
That's right.
Right? And so all of a sudden, somebody with those tendencies, those dictatorial, authoritarian tendencies, would be like, oh, okay, we're going to shut this down. We're going to throw these people in jail. And they didn't usually telegraph that. Trump is telling us what he intends to do.
We need to listen to
Take him at his word. The man means to throw people in jail who disagree with him.
I mean, you can't even say that. You never went to jail. Like, that's like one Trump era campaign promise that I fucking will never forgive him on. You know what I mean? Like, he said he was going to lock your ass up, and he didn't even do it. He's so bitch made. And you know who's locking his ass up? Joe Brandon. Just saying.
Shut down legitimate press outlets. Do what he can to literally undermine the rule of law and our country's values.
He will use the military to stop protesters.
He's going to do it.
Anyway. Politicians don't want to start the conversation about actual policies because they don't want their own books open in the public eye. Imagine no lie seeing Hillary getting thrown in jail by Trump would have been content. 100%. Anyway.